This is a tutorial on Excel. When you open up an Excel document, the part we're going to be discussing is this area right here, the font area. In order to change a font in a cell, you can click here and select a different font. You can change it for a column. You'll see that I'll change it to Algerian just so that you can see it. Or you can change a whole row. Again, you can see I've changed that row. You can select a section, or you can select an entire document. And it will change everything inside of that document. If you want to change font size, you can click on this area, and you can see that you can change the size to whatever size you want. Or you can actually come over here and click on the up or down and change the size of the font. This offers you bold or italic or underline by clicking on any of those items, or you have a double underline if you wanted to. If you want to highlight the cell, you can click on that, and you can also change the colors by clicking on the down arrow here and coming back and selecting whatever color you want. These down arrows are important because they always offer you more options. If you want to change the color of the font, again, click on that. The nice thing here is you can click on more colors, and it gives you a multitude of colors that you can use. I change that to a light yellow, which is not very visible, but just to show you what you can do. You can change the background and change the color of the font. Also, more colors, you can click on a custom color, and you have literally thousands and thousands of colors. Both the colors and the shade. If you've been using color in a specific cell, that color is still available up here for other cells as well. And I will make it a much more usable color so that you can actually see the difference. So you can see that I have changed that to red. I want to come and do a whole section. And I can just click on that and you can use those colors. Just to show you how powerful this is, you can come through and change all of them back to black if you want. And I'm also going to click on here and do no fill, so there's no background color. Other font options that are available to you, specific in this area, you can do a strike through for a font. Click OK and you can see that I'll strike through. You have a subscript, a superscript, and those are up and down, like square roots, that type of thing. I'm going to undo all those. I'll do that. Another very important area is borders. You can't see much here, but if you click this down area, you can see all the options that you have for borders. Borders are essentially lines that outline these light grayed areas in Excel. These light grayed areas are not going to show up when you print, but when you use a border, it will. So you have the option of, I'll come over here and undo what I've done by clicking no border, which will delete all borders inside of a selected area. You can do a outline, which will outline. I'll show you that in different areas so you can actually see what's going on. You can see it's outlined that area. Come back and do no borders. You can do thick bottom borders. That'll give you the bottom of whatever you've selected. And there's innumerable options. You can just play around with that. An important part of borders is down here on more borders, where you can specifically select the different areas and borders that you want to use. Oftentimes I will use this particular border right here. This is just a very light gray, so it's not an overwhelming color when you're printing. I'll show you how that looks when it's here. You can see it has the light dotted lines. Or You can use a thick one. Again, you can see that's changed that to a thick border. Again, something you can play around with. A nice one is these diagonals when you want to show that you don't want a cell to be used. Like right here, I will often do that. And I might even come up and do a gray it out so that people know not to use that cell. I'll click undo, undo. Another important area of borders is coloring them. Here's where the color options are. So if I want to do a border of bright red, whatever I select at that point will be bright red. And it'll still keep the other ones black until you change them, and I can come up here and change that to red. Now the nice thing is that here you have entire sections that you can select at one time. So if I want to do that, you can see that it's selected red. One other final thing that you need to know is that oftentimes a right click shows you the key areas that you might often use with fonts. That's it on this particular tutorial on fonts.